So, even though yesterday was our last day of actual theme parkings, it does not quite mean that it's our last day here at the resort. We still have a day to check out all of the periphery stuff, including the shopping district Disney Springs. And we're going to also try to get in a round of mini golf at the, I believe it's called the Fantasia Gardens golf course. So yeah, let's stick around for another day and just kind of enjoy other stuff.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we live in our dream.
So we are now at the orange parking garage for Disney Springs, and I really appreciate this development because the last time we were here, downtown Disney parking was an interminable nightmare from which no man walked out alive. But now it's a bit more bearable. So yeah. And we are now officially in Disney Springs, which is kind of like half of a theme park. It's not really a real park. Right behind me is Planet Hollywood, the new and improved Planet Hollywood actually, where we have dinner reservations. But they're not for another couple hours, so we'll have to come back to this area. I know I just called Disney Springs basically half of a theme park like a few minutes ago, but if you really think about it, it kind of is like a fifth theme park. Sure, it really doesn't do much with its theme besides generic shopping center. A lot of the restaurants are really nice and immersive, a whole lot more shops and there are attractions, but it does have some attractions like the hot air balloons over there, the Cirque du Soleil show, and of course the water taxi, the amphicar, which I think is new to Disney Springs, but I don't really know for sure. Pretty much the only thing that's stopping Disney Springs from being a park is the advertising. Like, Disney is not advertising it as a whole nother theme park, which I don't think it really deserves to be advertised as such, but they definitely could if they wanted to. And I think that's what's pretty interesting about it, and what separates it from downtown Disney over in California. You know, besides from the fact that for this one you have to go out of your way to get to it, whereas with downtown Disney, it's right there as you exit your car to get to the park. So, you know, it's my hot take on Disney Springs. Anyway, enough hot takes, let's do some impulse shopping. This is a weirdly aggressive ghost couple. My guess is she's mad at him for not asking for directions to the mansion. And instead of normal seats, we have teacups, because gotta keep reminding you of the real park somehow. And behold, the only piece of Marvel representation in the entire Florida resort. Well, at least until Guardians gets to Epcot. So what's the message here? Buy our candy and you'll be kidnapped by a witch. And then die of poison. Well, at least they're being honest. And by the way, for those of you wondering why I used Everything Is Awesome as the intro music for Disney Springs, there you go. So, they have completely redone the aesthetic of World of Disney, gotten rid of the characters flying overhead, and just, yeah. And apparently it's still something of a work in progress, So, how long do you think it's going to take for Disney to realize they're promoting the competition? I give them at least a year. So that was the amphicar we just saw. I'm all for Disney Springs getting more ride-esque stuff, because that whole diatribe I had earlier about it basically being half of a park. I don't see it getting any actual park level rides in the future. But you know, there's no telling what Disney will do to boost their sales. Why couldn't they put this in Dino Land? I mean, you've already got that outside of Animal Kingdom, so why not? So we've killed so much time that now it is almost time for us to get our reservations for the Planet Hollywood Observatory. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get in. And just walking in, I gotta say, it's already looking amazing. This restaurant actually has its backstory printed onto its menus. Disney magic, everybody. Also, I don't quite know what this is they're displaying on the screen, but I'm pretty sure it is the embodiment of a Disney asset sequence. So it seems like the general basis for this iteration of Planet Hollywood was to cut back on the Hollywood part of the theme and focus a bit more on the planet part. The backstory, as it's printed on the menu, states that Planet Hollywood was an existing restaurant chain, and when they moved to Disney Springs, they just happened to move into an abandoned observatory where they actually had an honest-to-God telescope where you could see the stars, and they just took that theme and ran with it, such as it was. I mean, it's certainly interesting. Certainly check it out if you have the time and the money. I'll certainly go to it again. The food's really good. It's not terrible. But I kind of like the old Planet Hollywood better. Probably because I'm a sucker for museums, and Planet Hollywood, aside from being a restaurant, was basically a museum of movie props. And they still have movie props and costumes here. It's just a whole lot of different ones. Not as much as they used to, but then again, that was probably part of why they changed it in the first place. It's okay. That's my review of it. And with that, our time in Disney Springs has come to an end. Join me in probably a couple minutes as I get back to the hotel for the Loot Hall review thing. Hey, so to close out this series of Disney vlogs, thanks for sticking around, and let's go through our last bit of loot, shall we? So, from the Marvel store, I forget its exact name, but from the Marvel store that they have at Disney Springs, we have this Black Panther action figure from the Toy Box set, which to me just really seems like Disney saying, yeah, we know we canceled Disney Infinity, but we're still gonna milk the art style for all it's worth. Which, you know, I appreciate. So yeah, there's that. And continuing with the trend of Marvel, from the Lego store, we have this Spider-Man Homecoming set. It's the scene where he's fighting the bank robbers who are wearing Avengers masks. And lastly, from the Disney corner, we have this little plush of Pascal, who can, you know, cling to your arm or hand. And I got this specifically for my girlfriend because she loves Tangled. This would just be perfect for her. So yeah, thank you for joining me in my travels to Walt Disney World in the year of 2018. I don't know how to end this, so this is insert username here 64, signing off.
Oh, come on, baby.